Assalamu alaikum, dear students, class 9th. So, dear students, today we will start the chapter 3rd of the biology lesson, diversity in living organisms. So, dear students, as we have already studied that diversity basically means a variety of life forms, numerous life forms that are settled on our this earth planet. So dear students, as you are well aware about the living organisms, so far as the living organisms are concerned, these are made up of the cells, living cells that do different activities. These living cells, they may grow, they need oxygen, they need food. So different living organisms, every living organism of this living world, this living organism, it may be a plant, it may be an animal or a microorganism. All living organisms that live on this universe, that live on this earth, has a unique properties. So this uniqueness of individual is the basis of diversity that is shown by all living organisms. So dear students, you have seen different types of plants that are grown in our locality. You see different types of animals that grow around our locality, that we see in our locality. Different types of plants, that some plants grow on hills, some on forests, some in the water. So there are different water plants, different water animals, different types of birds, different types of fish, different types of animals. Some are wild animals, some are domestic animals, some are aquatic animals. So in nutshell, we can say that there are different life forms on the earth, starting from large land animal to small microorganism. So far as the term plant, in the science we use the term flora for the plants and term fauna for the animals. So in this earth, different types of flora and fauna grow at the different types, at the different kinds of places. So we can say different organisms by the flora or fauna are adopted as per their habitat. So this indicates that the degree of diversity is endless. There is no end for the degree of the diversity. We already know most of the common and easy available animals and plants present, about 1 crore 22 lakh 50,000 species of living organisms are known, but the fauna and flora biota of the unapproachable area of forests, mountains, deserts, depths of ocean are largely unexplored. Oh, there are so many these biodiversity that is still unexplored in the depth of oceans, in the area of forests, in the mountains, in the deserts. In fact, it has been calculated that 92% of biota of the world is still unexplored. So, dear students, as per the book, 92% of the biota, that is biota means the living organisms, these are still unexplored. They are not discovered so far, still. So, diversity term is basically also called as a biological diversity. This term was coined by Walter G. Rosen in 1986. Biological diversity means variability among living organisms from all sources, including terrestrial, aquatic, freshwater, and marine, and other ecosystems. A biotic community plus its environment forms an interacting entity, the ecosystem. That's the biodiversity includes diversity within the species, between the species and ecosystem. So, dear students, the term biodiversity is basically called as the biological diversity. It is the diversity of the living organisms, and this is defined as the variability among the living organisms. And this term was coined by Walter G. Rosen. So there are different types of species diversity that we see around us. So different types of biodiversity that we have discussed in this unit. One is called as the point diversity. It is the diversity on the smallest scale. When we see the diversity among the living among the microhabitat, this is called as the point diversity. There is alpha diversity. Alpha diversity is the diversity of the local plants and animals, local that are locally grown. It includes variety of organisms occurring in a particular habitat. Another type is the gamma diversity, the diversity of the lower units such as island or landscape. There is another diversity that is epsilon diversity. It is called as the regional diversity, and it includes total diversity of a group or area, or gamma diversity. So dear students, the different types of diversities you may learn that one is the point diversity. It is the diversity on the smallest scale, that is the diversity of microhabitats. The alpha diversity is the diversity of the local plants and animals. And gamma diversity, it is the diversity of the larger units. When we see the diversity of the lower unit, that is called the gamma diversity. And when we study the diversity of a particular region, that is called as epsilon diversity. So dear students, in nutshell we can say that the different living organisms that live on a particular place on this earth, the organism that is called as the biodiversity. And this biodiversity term was coined by Walter G. Rosen in 1986. This biological diversity, it is the variability among the living organisms from all sources, including plants, aquatic plants, animals, and other microorganisms. So dear students, the different types of biodiversities, different types of species diversity that we study is the point diversity, alpha diversity, gamma diversity, and epsilon diversity. The diversity at the smallest scale is called as the point diversity. The diversity at the local level, at the local point, at the local habitat, that is called as the alpha diversity. The diversity of the lower unit such as island, that is called as the gamma diversity. The diversity at a regional area, particular area, that is called as the epsilon diversity. So dear students, this is all about what we see the term biodiversity. So if we define the term biodiversity, we may define it as biological diversity means the variability among living organisms from all sources, including terrestrial, aquatic, freshwater, and marine. This biodiversity term was given by Walter G. Rosen in 1986. Dear students, stay connected. In the next video, we will discuss how can we give the basic names or the scientific names to the different plants, animals, and microorganisms. So dear students, you may see here on the page number 492 of your reference book, there is the number of percentage of species of bacteria, fungi, and plants in India. So you may go through this table to know about the exact figure, exact number of species or the different bacteria, fungi, algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm, angiosperm, insects, mollusca, pisces, amphibia, reptiles, eels, mammals, the different types of taxons and different species that are found in India. You may learn, you may know from the table.